Hi guys, how are you today? So I was just wondering if I could ask you this question about your New Year resolution. How many of them have you ticked so far? We are in the middle of the year. How many of them have you ticked so far? And how many do you think you still tick before the year is over? I mean, it's not a trick question. It's just for me to bring your awareness to the understanding that do you realize where you are on that journey, just to renew your interest or motivate you to go back to them, because your resolutions were made with the kind of energy at the start of the year. You came up with the idea that you want to effect changes in certain areas of your life, or you want to add certain value to some aspects of your relationships, or whatever your choice, whatever choices you made at the start of the year. But I just want to know if you still have that urge, that motivation, the force, if it is still there. Because I know for a fact that there is a study that says that about just 8% of those who made New Year resolutions get to see them through by the end of the year. I don't know where you fall in this category. Maybe you are among the doers, or maybe you are among those who fade in this direction along the line. My point with this podcast is to help us bring us along on this journey back to revisiting our resolutions, and I'm going to do that by drawing our attention to the need to focus on our goals. Goals are quite different from resolutions. Resolutions are much more broader than goals, but goals are much more simpler and quite easier in a way. But you have to be intentional about setting goals as well. Goals are very easy to set, but if you don't set them the right way, you are not likely to achieve your desired result. Goals are your desired outcome, and you need to understand that regardless of how you see it or what you think, we made goals every time, every day. Even in our subconscious minds, we set goals every day. We are not going to be talking more about setting goals. We are going to be talking about setting the right goal. How do we do that? And I want to cast your memory back to what you've been taught in school, which is the SMART framework. The SMART framework. I know many of us have come across this concept in one way or the other. I just don't know exactly how much attention we paid to it. I am trying to say to us this day that when we remember that concept, it is very beneficial for us to go back to it, because it's not just about it's being used in business, or it's being used in marketing, or in whatever field in which you've been taught about this concept. I believe that it is also applicable in life decisions as well. SMART means to be specific, to make sure your goal is measurable, to make sure that you know that your goal is achievable. Then you also need to question whether it is realistic or whether it is relevant. And then when you put this goal within a timeline, within a time frame. So that's just it. It looks very simple, but unfortunately, many people still get this wrong. And that is why we say we set goals, but at the end of the day, we don't get to see what we set as goals. I can tell you for free that SMART goal, it cuts across various disciplines, and it's a very essential component. If we can take our time to understand how it works, take our time to learn more about it, and use it in, even apply it in our various way of doing things. So you might have been taught about SMART goals in class, but maybe you only learn it for the sake of its the module, or to pass an exam or stuff like that. But I'm saying that we need to go back to it. We need to look into it and see how best we can start applying it into our understanding of how we do certain things. You need to understand exactly why you have to set your goals right, because if you don't get it right from the onset, the entire process of trying to achieve anything, any initiative that you set, is not likely to work out well. And why is this so important? It is important because the goal you're going to set is just going to be your one sentence, just a sentence that will guide you throughout the entire process. Setting a goal can seem tedious, but that's the point. You have to get it right. That one sentence is very important. How you set that one sentence goes a long way to determine every step of the way till you get your eventual outcome. So the fun fact there is that once you don't get the goal right, just try to forget about the rest of the entire process. I'm saying that revisit that knowledge: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely or time bound. Go back to it. Your being specific goes a long way to make sure that your goal is precise, straight to the point, no cluttering, no confusion. Make it go straight to the point. And your measurable, you have to be able to identify what aspect of you now, or whatever it is you want to work on, what aspect of it will you use to measure against your eventual outcome. Because if you can't really identify what will be the difference by the time the so-called goal is achieved, then there is no point on knowing what is it that you are aiming for. So you have to make sure you guarantee that all focus will be on what you are adding to what exists at that point in time. Achievable, that is an honest question you have to ask yourself. You know your environment very well. You know what it is that you want to achieve. You know the factors that you will require. What are the tools, the resources that you need to achieve them? I mean, you just have to be sure that this, you might not have it yet, but it is doable. It is possible. I can do this. It's not like being just lofty and not being realistic about it, but you just have to know that you can do it. And that brings us to the next one, which is realistic. You don't need anyone to tell you anything about this. Just be honest with yourself. See, when they say you should make a business plan before you start a business, something to think like it's a waste of time, or it's time consuming, I don't need that. There are certain information, there are certain realities that will come to you when you're writing a business plan, which on a normal day will not be the case. The idea of a business plan is to help you to brainstorm, to think deep, be honest with yourself before dabbling into what you haven't done before. Because the better you are at structuring your business plan, the better you are at coming out with essential facts with regards to your business plan, the better the chances of your success with that business. You don't just enter the market because you think something will be viable out there. The timely and the time-bound principle of SMART framework, that's there to help you know how to allot your time. When you know exactly what you want to achieve within a given time frame, then you know how to allocate time to each stage of the entire process. You won't spend too much time on what's not really necessary, because you know where you're going, you know what is going to help you to determine if you are going to achieve the eventual outcome. I'm just trying to encourage us to revisit that understanding, try to go back to it, try to see it like a wake-up call for you to know better on how this framework works. If you're looking into it, I would like you to consider using the concept from a marketing perspective. That goes a long way to help you understand it better. I hope you will be able to go into your records or check online, Google stuff. Read more. I think you will like it so much. Even the Bible tells us in Luke chapter 14 verse 28 that you need to count the cost. Even before you begin, you need to count the cost. Check if you have the resources, the money, the time, the energy, the knowledge, whatever it requires. Check if you have what it takes to complete your project. The Bible is saying there that if you want to build a tower, you need to check if you need to count the cost, calculate everything you need to, if you will have enough money to complete this construction. But use that, bring that into your understanding, to your case, and think, because the counting the cost the Bible is referring to, I want to believe that it's more about your goal. What do you want to achieve? And are you being real with yourself? Are you asking yourself the right questions? Are you honest with yourself that I want to do this? Can I do it? Do I have what it takes to get it done? It's one thing to challenge ourselves. You can't be deceiving yourself thinking that you're just believing for it. So I just want to encourage us to revisit this understanding of this concept, and I hope this will be able to help you to get back on your journey, as it relates to your resolution for this year. I'll see you some other time. Thank you.